Hello, good morning students of class 11 commerce. Welcome to Pandasar's virtual class on microeconomics, and today we are going to start a new chapter, the theory of cost. In our last discussion we completed the production function and here we are with the theory of cost. So before going ahead, we should understand the exact meaning of cost, C-O-S-T. But from a producer or from economics point of view, what is the meaning of cost? So see, in a production process, we collect different factors including raw material, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. All these are factors and they contribute with their respective services, and after that only we can add value to the raw material and we can make something that has more value or more want satisfying power. For example, a piece of wood. Just consider its utility. It can be used as firewood only. It has less utility. But we hired a place and fitted with some instruments that are necessary for a carpenter. We hired a man who would do who would use his skill in order to convert that piece of wood into a chair or into a table. So here, raw material, the wood, the rent of the place where we are doing all these activities, the manpower who is using his skill, the capital borrowed, that is also a factor to purchase the wood or to hire the carpenter. So when all these factors are combined, are assembled, and ultimately we could make one chair that has far more capacity to satisfy human want than a bare piece of wood. So to sum up, in production process we need to spend on different factors of production, and the sum or the total of amount spent to purchase or hire different factors of production in order to produce something is called its cost. If you want to say it in Hindi, then अगर कुछ चीज बनाना है तो वो चीज बनाने के लिए जो सब चीजों को खरीदना या भाड़े में लाना पड़ता है, वो सब का कीमत या भाड़ा मिला के जो सम बनता है उसको हम उस चीज को प्रोड्यूस करने का कॉस्ट या खर्च बोलते हैं. So that is the meaning of cost. Now once we know cost, now the meaning of cost, then come to the classification of cost. What are different types of cost? You can see here money cost, explicit cost, implicit cost, real cost, and opportunity cost. We have 5 different types of cost, and it is highly possible that you may get a 1-mark question and you will be asked to explain what is money cost or what is real cost or what is explicit cost. A one-liner answer. But we will try to understand it in detail. And after understanding, I am sure you can produce one-liner answer for all these terms. First come to money cost. The total amount of money spent on different factors of production and raw materials to produce something is called its money cost. And money cost includes 2 different types of cost, which are explicit and implicit cost. We need to clearly demarcate or understand the difference of these 2 costs. Explicit cost, for example. So, exactly or actually where we make the payment That is called explicit cost. Things may be more clear if we try to understand in a different way. Suppose I am making tea. So here I myself is doing the job of making the tea. So you see, I am not going to pay myself because it's my own business. I am taking the risks of the business. Here I am entrepreneur. But I am not paying myself. Where I am paying? I am paying when I am purchasing milk. I am paying when I am purchasing sugar and different things that is necessary, gas. So, where the actual payment is made, that accounts for explicit cost, and where the cost exists but actually it is not paid like that of my payment, it is called implicit cost. Now come to real cost. Real cost is something subjective. Many economists actually criticize the concept of real cost, but theoretically we need to understand the meaning of real cost. Real cost, what is real cost? Real cost, in order to produce something, everything where someone is making sacrifice and the value of that sacrifice is called real cost. Or else we could not understand. Suppose I am extracting iron from iron ore. Means I am the owner of a steel plant. And you know how much pollution the steel plant actually spreads? So don't you think that common people who are living nearby the steel plant, they are also making sacrifice? Why they should tolerate the smoke? I am the owner of a boss. And many people are suffering when it is adjusting carbon dioxide. So why at all they should suffer? Don't you think they are making some sacrifice? But are they actually paid? Never. They are never paid. So the cost of all the sacrifices involved in the process of production of a goods is called real cost, which is quite subjective in nature, and it never can be counted or it cannot be determined in actual practice. In terms of money, we cannot express what exactly is the real cost. Only it has some theoretical value. Then, opportunity cost. This is the most important concept in economics you need to understand, because in your every discussion of economics, in almost every concept of economics, directly or indirectly, the concept of opportunity cost is involved. So we have already discussed earlier also, but once again, what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost of producing a goods, or opportunity cost of a good, is the next best alternative that is sacrificed or foregone in order to produce that thing. Let me make it simpler with the help of an example. Suppose I have got a piece of wood. I have got a piece of wood, and that piece of wood can be used to make a chair which cost is 100 rupees, and that same piece of wood can be used to make a table and its cost is 200 rupees. Now, as a producer, out of that piece of wood, what I am going to produce? Obviously, the natural choice is to produce a table because it is fetching more price. So, when that particular piece of wood is used to produce a table, don't you think that we are foregoing? We are losing an opportunity to use that same piece of wood to make a chair which cost is 100 rupees. So remember, the cost of producing a table is 200 rupees, but the opportunity cost of producing a table is the next best opportunity that is foregone, that is the cost of a chair, which is 100 rupees. So the opportunity cost of producing a table is not 200, it is 100 rupees, because that opportunity we have sacrificed or forgone in order to produce a table. Again, there is much criticism regarding opportunity cost, but theoretically it has much value and we need to understand in this way. You may be asked to give the answer of a question, one more question, what is opportunity cost? Often it comes in exam. So, after understanding different types of cost, now we will enter into yet another area, that is short run cost analysis. Before going ahead, I remind you, just remember time period in the process of production. We have already discussed that we have got three different time periods, that is market period, short run and long run. In market period, we cannot change the number of inputs or factors that are required to produce a goods. So it is not the subject matter of our discussion. On the other hand, what is short run? In short run, we can change the number of some factors, but we cannot change the number of some other factors. So the factors whose number cannot be changed are called fixed factor, whereas the factors whose number can be changed and cannot be changed and can be changed. During this time, we have to keep in our mind a definite time period. And that time period is called short run. So short run is characterized by a concept where some factor can be changed, are called variable factor, and some factors cannot be changed, are called fixed factor. So in order to purchase or hire variable factors, what amount we are spending is nothing but total variable cost. And the amount that we are spending in order to hire or purchase the fixed factor are called total fixed cost. Hence, to conclude, total cost is nothing but the sum of two different types of cost, that is total fixed cost and total variable cost. So TC, total cost, is the sum of TFC, total fixed cost, and TFC, total fixed cost, and TVC, total variable cost. When both the costs are added, we arrive at what is the total cost. So, along with total cost, we have also the concept of marginal cost and average cost. And today, we are not going to discuss these two costs because the length of the video will be much larger. Diagrammatically, we are going to explain the concept of total cost, the concept of total fixed cost, and the concept of total variable cost. Now come to this diagram, where along the x-axis we have taken output and along the y-axis we have taken the cost. Total fixed cost, it is parallel to x-axis. What does it indicate? It indicates that whatever may be the level of output, the total fixed cost never changes. That's why it is horizontal. That is why it is parallel to x-axis. The cost is always remaining the same. Now come to total cost and total variable cost. We know that total fixed cost and total variable cost, when they are added, we arrive at a total cost. So in total cost, total fixed and total variable both are included. That's why total cost curve starts positive, because even at zero level of output, we are not producing anything. Still, we have to bear the total fixed cost. That's why total cost starts from a positive note. And see the shape of both the curves, total variable and total cost. It indicates that in the beginning phase, it is increasing but at a decreasing rate, but beyond a point, it is increasing but at an increasing rate. You will find a point where the curvature of the curves is changing. So up to this point, up to this much output, the cost is increasing but at a decreasing rate. Obviously the marginal cost would be falling. And what is the reason? While discussing marginal cost, we will come across that point, the reason being law of increasing return, law of variable proportion. Just try to remember, when we expand production, in the first phase we get increasing return. Increasing, the concept of return and cost are just opposite to each other. If in the first phase we are enjoying the increasing return phase, then obviously the cost would be decreasing. And after that, when the another phase comes where we get a decreasing return means increasing cost. So in the first phase, increasing return, that is falling cost, that's why it is increasing but at a decreasing rate. And in the next stage, it is the stage of a decreasing return, means increasing cost, that's why the curve is increasing but at an increasing rate. That is the explanation of total cost and total variable cost. And total variable cost starts from the point of origin, that is 0, because when nothing is produced, total variable cost is 0. And as we start producing, the total variable cost goes on increasing. So this is all about the concept of cost, types of cost, and total cost. And this is short run cost analysis, where there exists two different concepts like total fixed cost and total variable cost. From TFC we will get AFC, from TBC we will get ABC. That all those things we will be discussing tomorrow. So for today, thank you and have a nice day.